Hi, CaZ here, the Writer Success Coach. Happy to be here today to continue our conversations about the 3 P's, 1, 2, 3, of being a successful writer. And that would be being purposeful, being productive, and promoting your own work. Okay, great. Now, it's an ongoing topic, so this one might be a little bit, I don't think it's going to be an odd conversation, but it might be a bit more thought-provoking than others. Okay. Hi, PK and Terry. Wow, Terry, glad to see you. Terry, it's been a while since we've been writing together. So anyway, I want to talk to you about purposeful writing. Oops, my screen, I've got to stop moving around so much because my unfortunately, I've got autofocus on and it's gonna screw up it's gonna mess up my screen when I do that. When we think about being purposeful as far as writing is concerned, we most often think in terms of getting clear on what to write. And that truly is an important part of being a purposeful writer. Knowing what your topic is, immersing yourself in your topic, and truly being an expert in what you want to write about. You can't hide that. You can't pretend. No amount of research can replace that. So it is important to be aware of what your topic is and get clear on that, so that when you're writing, you can give your message as clearly as possible. There is, however, I believe, a broader perspective around purpose, and that's very simply this: what is it that you want to accomplish with your writing? What purpose do you want to communicate? What message do you want to share with your readers? And that's true of anything you write. Gordon and Dave, Lizzie, hi Lizzie. Glad to see you all here. Thank you for joining me. Yesterday I was on a Zoom call with my good friend and colleague Janice. Janice is a transitional coach and an expert in what it takes to get a job and find a job. Okay, so I came away from that conversation. Hey, Jacqueline. I came away from that conversation with a question, and I want to pose that question to you today. Would you, as you're thinking about this question, would you please keep in mind that I want you to listen to it as far as the perspective I want you to focus on is your writing. And you may not be a really big writer, but everyone does some writing. So think in terms of when you're writing and when you answer this question. What would you do differently if you were an employee of yourself? Let me say that again. What would you do differently if you were an employee of yourself? As writers, we are full-time writers rarely. Most of us have to put our writing on the back burner in order to earn a living. Not unusual at all. And how we fit writing into our lives that's a question for another day, obviously. At the moment, I want you to consider your mindset around writing and how you choose to commit yourself when you do write. So let me ask that question just a little bit differently. Let me ask it one more time. Thank you, Dave. What a wonderful thing to say. Dave says that I'm an awesome writer. I think so too. All right, let me ask my question. I'm getting silly. What would you do differently if you were paying yourself as a full-time writer to write? Would you do something differently? Would your mindset with the way you approach your writing be different? I believe it would be. I believe it would be. You are both the employer and the employee when you are a purposeful writer. You choose the purpose, you set the priorities, and you do the writing. You're wearing all the hats. Okay, when you are a freelance writer, or simply when you are writing for yourself. So what is your purpose in writing? I don't have an answer for you today. I have questions, and I want you, if you will please, to consider this question seriously and write down your answer. I'd love to hear it, but write down it for sure for yourself. There's certainly more than one answer, by the way. Why do I write? The easy answer is I write because I can. It's much more than that. I write because I must. It's much more than that. I remember writing stories when I was a child in crayon. I remember how much I loved my high school English teacher, who was the first person who truly recognized that I had a talent and encouraged me to explore writing. I remember this one so well. I remember the first piece I sold to a regional newspaper, and it was such a wonderful feeling to see my byline in print for the first time. I also remember yearning for the companionship of other writers and finding none in the small town where I grew up. And I remembered my joy when I discovered that there were critique groups in the larger cities that were nearby. So I did find the writers. Nowadays, it's not that much of a problem because there's so much available online. But when I was first writing, I was very definitely alone. I also remember the pain I felt when my then husband didn't understand and wasn't able to support my need to write. It was so hurtful when he would say to me, just go get a job. I also remember, and I think this is perhaps the best part of my memories about writing, is I remember the mentors who popped up in my life whenever I needed them, and to be truthful, still do. Happens all the time. My purpose for writing is to share what I know, to share what I learn, and to share what I dream. How about you? How are you a purposeful writer? I would really love to hear about it. I really would. Please say something in the comments or message me in privately if you'd like. This is CaZ, the Writer Success Coach. Thank you all for joining me. Gordon, you've made a great comment there about your teacher who made you feel like you had writing talents. I think that that's something that all of us should have, is a memory of a teacher who made us feel good about the talents that we have. Join me tomorrow again at 2 p.m., thereabouts, when we'll talk more about the 3 P's of writing. Keep writing. Bye-bye now.